Change isn't so easily upon us. Change doesn't happen so easily for us. The difficulty comes in changing huge systems. It's sort of like that train that's going down the track at 100 miles an hour, and oh my God, there's someone at the crossing, and the engineer pulls on the brake. And even though the brakes have been pulled on, there's all this momentum, all this stuff that's behind us that's going to keep going until finally inertia happens and it stops. But even though we know the answer, even though we understand the problem, it requires the changing of enormous ways of thinking, ways of being, ways of acting. That's why it hasn't happened yet, but that doesn't mean it won't. That doesn't mean it can't, and I believe it will. There is a human natural speed that humans travel, which is walking. And I thought that indigenous cultures could share with us that which comes from that speed, the human speed, the care that comes from traveling at human speed. Nature moves at different speeds as well. There's a spring where plants are growing. There's the glacial movements which go over millenniums. And there's down to the atoms which are traveling at the speed of light. So yes, there are all these different kinds of speeds, but at human level, the level where we exist, there's a human speed, and that's walking. So we could get off of the rat race, and we can walk, and we can rediscover that human speed. We can rediscover what it is like to experience those spaces of silence. We can rediscover who we are. People are part of the environment. We're all part of the environment. And I learned that in school. But what I didn't learn was that if people were part of the environment, then how we treat each other is our first opportunity to treat the environment in a sustainable way. And I mean, treat the environment in a sustainable way. We're going to have to learn what that means. But environment then is about human rights and civil rights and economic equity and gender equality and all the ways that we relate to each other. That's why it hasn't happened yet. But that doesn't mean it won't. That doesn't mean it can't. And I believe it will.